When Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren unleashed a fiery tirade, branding actor Jonathan Roumie a pawn of corporate interests and a promoter of divisive rhetoric, she expected applause from progressive circles. But what came next shocked everyone. Actor Jonathan Roumie's live response was calm, thoughtful, and utterly devastating. The actor not only defended his views, he turned the entire narrative on its head, exposing the senator's ideological limitations and leaving her visibly speechless. The audience's reaction? Pure frenzy. The national conversation was electrified that afternoon. The cameras rolled, the correspondents whispered, and the atmosphere felt heavy with anticipation. Everyone expected a formal session, but what happened next shocked the region. Senator Warren, a prominent figure in the Washington establishment and champion of progressive causes, leaned into the microphone, her voice vibrating with intensity. She raised her hand dramatically and thundered, "Actor Jonathan Roumie is a pawn of corporate interests and a promoter of divisive rhetoric." Murmurs rippled through the room. Some delegates applauded lightly, but the tension was unmistakable. The senator's words were not only harsh, they were charged with the conviction of a fighter for the working class. She launched into a fierce tirade, accusing actor Roumie of using his platform to divert attention from systemic problems, of serving the interests of Wall Street and big corporations, and of attempting to silence critical voices under the guise of unity. Her speech sounded rehearsed, as if she had been waiting for this very moment to defend the honor of progressivism. The camera zoomed in on actor Jonathan Roumie, sitting calmly in front of it. Actor Roumie didn't flinch, didn't move. He just stared at it, his expression calm and composed. The audience, millions watching live on television and social media, leaned closer to their screens. Everyone knew that actor Roumie would respond, but how would he do it? Would he ignore Senator Warren's ideological fury, or would he counterattack in a devastating way? The room held its breath. Something big was about to happen. Senator Warren wasn't finished. Her voice grew louder, her fists trembled as she hammered home one point after another. Actor Roumie is rapidly moving us toward rhetoric that benefits corporate power. Instead of helping working families with real social justice, he criminalizes protest, dismisses independent press, and uses his influence for speculative causes. He allows U.S. capitalist interests to undermine our economic sovereignty while threatening true popular democracy. Reporters scribbled frantically. Senator Warren was in full attack mode. He painted her as a dangerous voice, a distraction from genuine progressive reform, a public figure who erodes the foundations of collective responsibility. But something unusual was happening. The more the poor senator spoke, the more divided the crowd became. Some nodded in agreement, but others exchanged uncomfortable glances. Meanwhile, actor Roumie sat perfectly still. His composure was a striking contrast to the senator's fervor. The camera captured every second. The senator's tense face, actor Roumie's steady gaze, the murmurs spreading through the room. Senator Warren finally leaned back, her voice hoarse, a flush on her cheeks. Her supporters applauded weakly, but the energy felt forced, almost nervous. She concluded with a confident nod, believing she had made her mark on the day. The cameras quickly switched to actor Roumie. The entire room fell silent. Actor Roumie slowly adjusted his microphone. He didn't shout, he didn't bang on the table. Instead, he leaned forward, his voice calm, deliberate, cutting through the silence like a knife. "Senator Elizabeth Warren," he began, "you have been a prominent voice in Washington for years, a figure of the political establishment. And what have you achieved? More division, more political gridlock. You speak from the insular world of Washington, D.C. and elite academic circles. You call yourself a champion of the people while representing a system that many feel has left them behind. With all due respect, Senator, perhaps the real charade is believing that only career politicians can speak for the common good." The words fell like thunder. Gasps filled the room. Senator Warren's smile vanished instantly. The room erupted in whispers as actor Roumie continued, steady and controlled, his voice gaining strength. "You accuse me of being a corporate pawn, a distraction. Buckle up, Senator, because I'm about to shine a light on the reality of a political approach that often can't see the forest for the trees." The audience was frozen. Everyone knew the storm had just begun. The room was deathly silent. Actor Roumie spoke slowly, narrowing his eyes. "Senator Elizabeth Warren, you have been part of the elite for decades, part of the system you claim to criticize. And what has it brought back? More frustration for ordinary people. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Senator Warren shifted in her seat, her smile fading. Actor Roumie leaned forward, his voice growing louder. You call me an enabler of corporate interests. The truth is, Senator, your approach, while well-intentioned, often feels like a different kind of scam. You preach about equality, but the political system you defend often widens the divisions. You talk about empowering the people, but many feel more disillusioned than ever. You don't live like the working families you claim to fight for. You live within the very system that many feel needs reform. The senator's face flushed for the first time, her confidence cracked. Actor Roumie didn't stop. He fixed his eyes on her and continued in a calm but relentless voice. You are here today, Senator, ranting about corporate interest, but let's be realistic. Hypocrisy, Senator, is lecturing others about their influence while you are insulated by your own political power. You have built a career denouncing corporate power, but you are blind to the power of political elites and ideological rigidity. She tried to interrupt, but actor Roumie pressed on. And let's address your nonsense about my alleged complicity. Where is your proof? Where is the evidence? My platform is not about abuse, it's about connecting with people. And frankly, some of the very policies you champion risk stifling individual freedoms and expression right here. You often demonize dissenting voices and those who seek different paths to prosperity. The real criminals are those who perpetuate an outdated political system, prioritizing ideology over the tangible needs of individuals. And yes, Senator, that includes you and the entrenched political class that has failed to deliver real change for decades. The room erupted. Reporters whispered frantically, some scribbling so fast their pens nearly broke. Senator Warren tried to smile but failed. Actor Roumie had turned the tables, and the weight of the truth, or his version of it, was crushing her. The real shock came from the audience watching live on social media. Clips of actor Roumie's words were spreading like wildfire. Had Roumie crushes progressivism, hashtag exposed in Washington. Had hope without ideology, trended within minutes. Inside the room, actor Roumie paused, raised his hand, and the room quieted down. His voice became lower, firmer, and more penetrating. Senator, you have built your entire career on an ideological framework. But today, I believe that framework is being challenged by a different kind of reality. You are a career politician who talks about what is broken, while I, as an actor, strive to bring inspiration, connection, and a different kind of peace to millions. The words fell like a hammer. Senator Warren opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Her supporters looked on in shock, realizing that their champion had no answer. The silence was deafening. For the first time, Senator Elizabeth Warren seemed powerless. Senator Warren sat stiffly, her face reddened, leafing through her papers, desperately searching for a retort, but it was too late. Actor Roumie had stolen the moment. Actor Jonathan Roumie looked around the room, scanning the faces of his critics. Then he smiled slightly, as if he knew this moment would be replayed 1,000 times. For the first time in hours, actor Roumie paused. The room fell silent. Everyone knew he wasn't done yet. The next words they knew would change everything. Actor Roumie smoothed out his papers and then fixed his eyes on Senator Warren. His voice was sharp but calm. You criticize my influence or my message as divisive or wrong. But what I offer is about empowering individuals, not controlling them. I am not attacking vulnerable groups, Senator. I am championing personal responsibility, community strength, and inspiring individual transformation, not just top-down mandates. While you sit in your bureaucratic chair delivering speeches, I am connecting with people across this nation, offering stories of hope and resilience, inspiring individuals to build stronger communities from the ground up. That's not authoritarianism, Senator. That's genuine connection and inspiration. The room stirred. Some delegates shifted uncomfortably, realizing that actor Roumie's words were hitting home with public opinion. That's not authoritarianism, Senator, continued actor Roumie. That's leadership through inspiration. Senator Warren's lips tightened. She tried to interject, but the actor pressed on. You call me a threat to democracy, but what about the families whose spirits are crushed by despair, by a system that promises much but often offers little hope or agency? What about the workers who lived in terror? You care more about abstract political systems than the concrete needs of individual spiritual and personal growth. That's the truth, gasps echoed. As the crowd knew that actor Roumie had just turned the senator's attack on authoritarianism into a weapon against her. Actor Roumie leaned closer to the microphone, his voice dropping to a controlled intensity that silenced the room. You say that I am leading this nation toward authoritarianism. Really, Senator? Let me explain what true authoritarianism looks like. It is silencing people. It is shutting down free thought. It is making citizens afraid to speak out. That is what a rigid ideological system, whether left or right, risks doing through censorship, social pressure, and political targeting. The audience erupted in murmurs. Even the journalists looked at each other nervously. Actor Roumie slammed his hand on the desk to emphasize his point. I am not silencing Americans. I am empowering them with inspiration, with messages of peace, purpose, and the capacity for individual change. That's democracy, not dictatorship. Senator Warren's face was red, her hand trembling as she leafed through her notes, but nothing she had written seemed strong enough to counter the words of Actor Roumie. Actor Roumie paused and then delivered a devastating line. You accuse me of being authoritarian or a distraction, Senator. But in truth, the only people you want to silence are the millions of Americans who are finding meaning and purpose outside your political frameworks, who are seeking different paths to a better life beyond the reach of divisive ideologies. The room erupted in chaos, half cheers, half outrage. The energy was overwhelming. Actor Roumie then addressed the senator's lengthy diatribe on the media and sovereignty. He smiled faintly, almost amused. Senator Warren complains that capitalists own the media. Let me tell you something. Much of the mainstream media has been quick to dismiss or even demonize voices like mine, voices that challenge conventional narratives or offer alternative perspectives. You attack individual economic choices or new forms of investment, but that's not control. It's empowering individuals with financial freedom. Her fear is that people will finally be able to choose without bowing to an ideological mafia and political bureaucracy. The cameras cut to the crowd, some nodding, others whispering. You, Senator, and your political allies have offered political solutions for decades. I call many of them failures when they divide us more than they unite us. Senator Warren clenched her jaw, visibly shaken. Her fiery confidence was evaporating, replaced by a look of silent panic. Actor Roumie was not just defending himself, he was rewriting the entire regional narrative. Actor Roumie crossed his arms, looking directly at Senator Warren. His tone was colder now, cutting through the noise. You preach about a free press, Senator, but let's be honest. You seem to value it only when it aligns with your narrative. When the press challenges your political positions or criticizes the progressive agenda, you often dismiss it as corporate influence or right-wing propaganda. The crowd stirred. Actor Roumie's voice grew louder. I'm not afraid of the press. My work has often faced cynicism, but here I am connecting with millions. That's not authoritarianism, Senator. That's resonance and proof that people are looking for something deeper than political slogans. The room was in chaos. Actor Roumie didn't stop. You call yourself a defender of democracy, Senator, but you don't want the truth. You want a monopoly on truths, and the people of America are sick of that. Senator Warren's face tensed. She reached for her notes, but froze. Her talking points no longer felt secure. Sweat covered her forehead. Her hands trembled slightly as she tried to compose herself. For the first time, the experienced senator looked uncertain. Actor Roumie intensified the attack. You confuse freedom with the social and economic disruption that your ideology sometimes produces. You believe that defending your specific political ideas is the same as defending freedom itself. But people know the difference. They want peace of mind and personal prosperity, and they know that I am fighting for that while you are fighting for the power of a political agenda. Senator Warren's furious gaze softened into something more fragile. It was clear that Actor Roumie had cornered her. Actor Roumie leaned back slightly, his voice calm but heavy. You have spent your entire career championing revolutions in politics, Senator. But real change comes from empowering individuals, not just shifting power among elites. You have made politics your career while selling big promises to those who struggle. That's not genuine advocacy, Senator. That's perpetuating a system. The words fell like thunder. Senator Warren looked down, her eyes moving over her notes, but nothing she had prepared seemed usable. Her silence was louder than her speeches. The actor continued, each word piercing the senator's image like glass. Senator, you have made a career out of attacking the rich and powerful, yet look at your own life. You are now a powerful figure, living comfortably within the Washington establishment. You fly on private jets or enjoy the privileges of political office while preaching about the struggles of ordinary Americans. You are not a woman of the people in the way you claim, Senator. You are a woman of immense privilege, operating within a system that many feel is broken. You accuse me of hypocrisy, Senator, but the truth is that you have been living an ideological narrative that is increasingly disconnected from the lived experience of the people. Actor Roumie leaned in again, lowering his voice so that each word fell heavily. Let's talk about your record, Senator. Decades in politics, years of proposals and speeches. What have we really achieved for the individual? More division, more regulations, but often less real hope. You preach about systemic change, yet many people still struggle. Meanwhile, in my work, even as an actor, I aim to offer real-world inspiration, foster community, and drive personal transformation that brings a different kind of peace and purpose to millions, directly impacting lives in a way that government rarely does. That's called results, Senator. That's called making a tangible, positive difference in people's lives. It's about hope, not just handouts. And that's what your political machine often struggles to deliver. Actor Roumie raised his finger and pointed at the senator. You don't fight for working families, Senator. You exploit them with promises you never keep. You're not their champion, you're their disappointment. Actor Roumie delivered the final blow to the senator's credibility. And let's not forget integrity. You talk about fighting corruption, Senator, but the political system itself, of which you have been a part for so long, is often riddled with special interests and selfish agendas. You have turned politics into a career, a business for a political class, while pretending it is a crusade for the poor. You accuse me of being a pawn. The truth is, Senator, that the political apparatus you represent has often thrived by exploiting anxieties and promoting divisions, without offering the fundamental peace and unity that people truly crave. And people are waking up. They see your act for what it is, an ideological charade. The room erupted. Some cheered, others shouted in anger. Reporters rushed forward. Senator Warren sank slightly into her seat, silent. The actor had struck a deep chord, and everyone knew the senator had no way out. On social media, clips of actor Roumie's words shot to the top of the trending lists. Millions of people replayed the exchange in disbelief. Senator Warren slumped slightly in her seat in silence. The once fiery figure was visibly shaken. Actor Roumie leaned back, letting the silence speak louder than any words. The actor had struck a deep blow, and everyone knew the senator had no way out. Actor Roumie straightened his team and then leaned closer to the microphone. His voice was calm, but carried an authority that filled the room. Senator, you have been among the elite for decades, and in all that time, you have mastered only one thing: detailed criticism and grandiloquent promises. But real impact isn't just about identifying problems, it's about inspiring solutions. He raised his hand slightly, his voice rising with each point. In my work, I've seen how shared stories and values can bring a sense of peace to individuals, foster community, and inspire a renewed sense of purpose across diverse backgrounds. That's called results. The room erupted in shouts, half cheers, half boos. The clash of noise only amplified actor Roumie's words. He pointed directly at Senator Warren. You don't know what results look like, Senator, because you may not fully understand what a different kind of results means. Results in the hearts and minds of individuals. People don't need sermons, they need inspiration, hope, and connection. And that's what I strive to offer them. Senator Warren's lips trembled as she tried to respond, but the words wouldn't form. The Walker actor had seized the moral high ground. The tone of actor Roumie changed again, softer now, almost paternal. His words carried a strange weight that silenced even his critics. Senator, your speeches are filled with righteous anger. Anger against the powerful, anger against inequality. You paint a picture of a broken nation, deeply divided, almost beyond repair. He paused, scanning the audience. But this nation, Senator, is not hopelessly broken. It is strong, it is resilient, and it is full of people yearning for unity and purpose. You sell despair, Senator. I, as an actor, bring hope. That's the difference. That's why people trust me, and that's why they're losing faith in your ideology. Senator Warren froze, staring at her papers, but no longer reading them. Her fire was dying, and the cameras captured every second as actor Roumie's words thundered through the room. Outside, the nation erupted. In living rooms, families leaned in, whispering, Roumie just destroyed her. On social media, hashtags shot up at lightning speed, had Warren speechless as Roumie exposes the fraud. no ideology. Inside the chamber, actor Roumie leaned back, letting the cheers and shouts wash over him. The nation knew this wasn't just a debate, it was a turning point. Actor Roumie leaned forward again, his eyes fixed on Senator Warren like a hunter who has cornered his prey. "You talk about capitalists laughing, Senator," said actor Roumie in a tone as sharp as glass. "But let's tell the people the truth. The political system itself in which you operate often creates its own set of elites and its own forms of privilege. You don't live like the worker. You exploit them in the sense that the systems you defend don't always directly benefit them." Gasps swept through the room. Actor Roumie's voice hardened. "You pretend to be with the people, but you built your entire brand on division, pointing fingers at those who succeed, promising things you'll never deliver. That's not leadership, Senator. That's often perpetuating a different kind of political theater, and tonight the people are finally seeing it." Senator Warren tried to shake her head, but the cameras captured her silence more than her denial. Her lips tightened, her fire reduced to smoke. Actor Roumie delivered one final line for the night's episode. "America doesn't need lectures, Senator. It needs strength, honesty, and action. And I'm here to deliver all three." The room erupted in applause. Senator Warren stared silently at her desk as the world replayed the moment over and over again. The voice of actor Roumie softened, but the weight behind it grew heavier. "Senator, you have been in power for decades, and what do you have to show for it? Nothing. No historic achievements, no real solutions, just speeches, bitter and angry speeches." The audience shifted uncomfortably. The camera zoomed in on the senator's hands, trembling as she clutched her papers. "You rail against capitalism while living like an elite. You promise prosperity for all, but your policies often divide and fail to guarantee true unity or prosperity for everyone. The truth is simple, Senator. You have never solved anything. You have talked while others have worked." Gasps and murmurs filled the room. Actor Roumie leaned forward again, each word cutting. "People are tired of your act. They want results, and they're getting them from me, not you." Senator Warren's eyes darted away, avoiding the cameras. Her silence spoke louder than any rebuttal. The stillness that followed was unbearable. Even the most progressive delegates in the room, usually quick to cheer, remained motionless. Actor Roumie pressed his advantage. "You called me a corporate pawn. You called me a promoter of division. But where is your evidence, Senator? There have been endless attacks against me, every agency, every ideological trick, and they found nothing. Do you know why?" He raised his finger, stabbing the air. "Because I'm clean. Because I'm fighting for ordinary people. And you're fighting to protect a political ideology, your elite privileges, and your position in the establishment." The room exploded. Actor Roumie's supporters erupted in applause while Senator Warren and the allies looked devastated, their heads bowed. On television, the anchors searched desperately for words. One commentator whispered, "We've never seen Senator Warren like this. She's speechless, for the first time in years." The Bissau senator's fiery eyes dimmed, her lips parted, but no words came out. She reached for her glass of water, but her hand was shaking. America saw it. Millions watched live as an ideological giant crumbled in real time. Across the country, the moment became unforgettable. In restaurants, people applauded in front of television screens. In living rooms, parents pointed at the screen and said to their children, "That's how the truth sounds." Meanwhile, in the chamber, Senator Warren sat empty-eyed. Her allies whispered frantically, but no one dared speak aloud. The leader who had built her brand on fiery words had been robbed of her voice. Actor Roumie, sensing the emotion sweeping the country, let his voice soften. "I don't fight for the elites. I don't fight for the ideological establishment. I fight for the forgotten men and women of this nation and this continent. And I will never stop." The words resonated. It was more than a retort. It was a turning point etched into history. Actor Roumie's eyes scanned the room, unwavering, his voice calm but penetrating. "Senator Elizabeth Warren," he said slowly, "has had every opportunity. Decades of criticism, promises, and failures. Meanwhile, in my work as an actor through stories and connection, I see a different kind of strength, peace, and freedom being built in people's hearts and communities. That is the difference between words and action." The room fell into a deathly silence. Senator Warren's shoulders slumped. Her papers, once her weapon, now looked like the remains of empty words. "You call me a promoter of division. You call me a pawn of special interests. But tonight, the people see who the scam artist is, and it's not me. Senator Warren's lips parted, as if to respond, but nothing came out. Her silence spoke louder than any speech could. The camera zoomed in, the image of Senator Warren, tired, defeated, and speechless, was already being etched into the minds of millions. The moment actor Roumie finished, the room erupted. Applause shook the walls. People stood up, clapping loudly. Some shouted through tears, "We love you, Jonathan." Others simply whispered, "Finally, the truth." Outside, the nation was ablaze. On social media, videos spread like wildfire. Commentators who had derided actor Roumie admitted, "Leave effort on air. Senator Elizabeth Warren has been completely dismantled." Senator Warren remained motionless. Her once thunderous voice was drowned out by the roar of the crowd. She had no response, only silence. Actor Roumie gently raised his hand to calm the noise. His words were firm. "I will always fight for you, not for ideological elites, only for the people." The cameras captured every second. The nation had just witnessed history, and emotions ran high. Actor Roumie's final words were clear, intended not only for the room, but for every living room in America. "Senator Elizabeth Warren, you called me a divisive figure and a pawn of special interests. But America now knows the truth. I am not fighting for power. I am fighting for you." The room erupted once again. Senator Warren stared at the desk, broken, while actor Roumie stood tall, calm, and victorious. People leaned back from their screens, moved to their core. They knew they had witnessed a moment that would never be forgotten. If you were on the edge of your seat watching this ideological clash and want more analysis, breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes looks at the moments that shape our world, you need to be subscribed. Hit that subscribe button right now, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss our deep dive into the political fallout from this epic confrontation.